and I'm going to be doing an interview with Jeanette Jordon. She's one of our first Evenest vendors, and she has a company called Creations of the Heart. And Jeanette's coming on right now. Hi, Jeanette. Can you hear me? Hold on. Are you? You are.
Girl, I didn't even put earrings on.
Oh. You know what? I have all mine. When I say to my daughter, oh, you shouldn't get everything pierced. She goes, Mom, you have 7. I said, where? I forget. I did all my ears. Way back when.
I got earrings right next to me. I'll use one of my products.
Okay, let me see them.
They're little. Hold on. Darn it. Okay, they're little flowers that I made.
Oh, those are cute.
Yeah.
Those are cute. I like those.
Okay, hold on.
No worries.
You should have seen. I told my husband, it's at 6. We gotta hurry up. He goes, I'm cooking as fast as I can. It was like he made a Spanish meal, arroz con gandules and beef steak with onions.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he did it so fast, but it was so good.
That
I was
sounds
like,
lovely.
Oh yeah.
My husband doesn't cook. He tries.
Oh
he
no,
does a
I
lot
made
of
sure I
things,
married
but
a man that cooked.
If you can get a dude that cooks, that's awesome.
Yeah, I've always had a man that cooked, or else because I'm the baker. So I did his favorite dessert, which is flan.
Oh
A
yes.
Spanish flan.
Yep.
And there's 2 textures. One is the watery way. Mine is like a cream cheese.
The solid, like a cheesecake kind of thing.
Yeah, cheesecake kind of thing. I love those. Okay.
Well, it's good to finally meet you. I was just kind of doing a little I'm going to break this up so we can do a little interview thing, and we're all ready.
I got all pretty. I got pretty. Okay.
Gorgeous. Just gorgeous. So this is Jennie Dial, and I'm here with Jeanette Jordon, and she is the very first Evenest vendor, and I'm so happy to have her. She is like the epitome of women entrepreneurs. She is just fabulous, a wonderful personality, a go-getter. She doesn't ever, have never talked to her when she's upset, which I'm sure she is at times, but always up, always happy, and always positive and wanting to share. And so, Jeanette, just briefly talk about Creations of the Heart, which is your company, and how you came to do this.
Well, Creations of the Heart started when I was in Kuwait. I was deployed, and I needed something as a coping mechanism, and I started with painting art. And what I ended up doing is I painted an abstract, and I love abstract because it had no meaning. But when you look at it, somebody like myself as a soldier would, oh, I can relate to that. So some command sergeant major came up to me. He goes, that's a beautiful painting. I say, yeah, you like it? He goes, that's very nice. I'll give you $250 for it. I went, what? What? He goes, yeah. So put it in a frame for me and I'll buy it from you. I'm like, okay. So all of a sudden I put it in a frame for him and I sold it. And then I don't know, the word got around, hey, what can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do a mermaid for me? I would like to be under the water. Can you do beaches? Can you do I'm like, sure. We were in the desert. Everybody wanted the ocean.
Water.
And I said, yeah. And I said, okay. And that became my favorite thing to do. It was like the beaches and the oceans, and I got really good at it. I even do it on coasters now. And I just love it. So after that, I came home and I had told my husband, hey, you know what? They brought paintings from me. And then somebody said, hey, you should do an art gallery. I'm like, I'm not that famous. And he goes, you can do an art gallery, do all the paintings. So I started painting and I started painting and started painting. I did the art gallery. It was a full house with military people that I used to, as a teacher, I had my students there. I ended up selling 300 paintings.
My goodness. And you know
I
what?
was like,
As an artist, I will tell you, I don't want to stop your flow, but it's so hard for people to actually, there's two things, to let their art go away from them because they want
Uh-huh.
to sell it, but then it's their work. And the
Mm-hmm.
second thing is to actually be paid for your work and for people to like it and to validate that. That's
Mm-hmm.
right off the bat. That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, one of the paintings that I'm going to talk about was really strange because I brought it and I did it as soon as I got home from the war. And it was a face. Now, the face was mixed media. I really had it all messed up. The brain of the face was a picture with rubber bands and a lot of junk garbage in it. It was on top, which represented the brain.
Right,
And then the googly eyes.
right.
And then her eyes were like this, and her hand was like this. And it said, "Help me." I did that for me. Like, I came back, like, "Help me." I'm fighting for everything that I have. And I'm like, "Help me." And this lady who was 83 years old brought that painting. And I looked at her and I said, "Can I ask you a question?" She goes, "Yeah." Why did you buy that painting?" And she goes, "I can relate to that painting. I feel like that right now." I went, "Wow, okay. That's okay. I understand." And I left it alone, but I started crying. I'm like, I thought I was the only one that would feel that way. And she brought it, and it was not big. It was an 8 by 10. I just did it to, you know, I was
It was
doing it out of
therapy.
frustration.
It's like
Yeah,
therapy. Mhm.
yeah, and that's how it happened. And then I left that alone. After I did my painting, I just wanted to do 300. I didn't want to do any more. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I ended up in Indiana as a grandparent. And then all of a sudden, I was looking at YouTube. I said, I feel like doing something. I want to work with my hands. I want to do things. And I started selling jewelry for my sister as a co-partner in this company that she used to work for. And I did it as a business and I did it for her. And all of a sudden, she got sick. And I said, "Well, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not really mine. I want to do something else." And I don't know how it happened. I'm telling you, God was with me. I don't know how it happened. I started making clocks. And I made my own clock, which is the Nemo clock, okay? And with the ocean and everything is all over my website. And I made that, and people started going, "Wow, crazy. Okay. Hey, can you make one of those for me? Hey, can you put this in it? Can you put this?" All of a sudden, that became a thing. I'm like, "Okay." And I just took off with it. And now I'm known around here as the clock lady. I'm like, "Hey," and I sell my own jewelry, which I make. And then I started just making all kinds of stuff with my hands. And then it was 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started my sister series because I moved to Texas to be with my sister who's recovering breast cancer. And I did the sister series because the figurines are exactly that. Hold on, let me show it to you. So these um three girls, these three girls, okay, they're thinkers. And one is thinking like this, the other one's thinking like this, and the other one's thinking like this. So I started making them, and boom, they
Oh
took
my
off.
goodness. Now, is all your products out of resin? Is that where you're?
Yeah, well, this is another thing I'm learning. So I tried resin,
Those
right?
are
And I love
beautiful.
resin. You can make it whatever color. So I tell people you can do it whatever color. I got an order last week that it was different colors. It was like green, purple, and silver because that was all her sister's favorite colors. And she loved it and she ordered it, and I started making, and I fell in love with them. And I made one all in black that sold like this.
Oh my
And I'm like,
goodness.
okay.
I could just
I was
imagine that would be like the first color to go. Yep.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like I said, okay. So, and then I started investigating with plaster, crafter's
Yep.
plaster.
Yep.
And I said, I wonder. Sure enough, I made them gold and silver, and they came out gorgeous. And I was like, I went in the vending event and they sold. I was like, okay, you know, I'm
You
always doing
are
things a little different.
amazing. You
I
are
just do things
amazing.
experiment. I just, you know what? Here's the thing. I do things with such joy and passion, and I love it. And you're right about my attitude. It's like you can't find me even when I do smart connects and things like that and I meet people. I love meeting people. I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert. So when I tell people, hey, what is your passion? They're like, man, I'm a nurse. I go, I can make clocks as a nurse. What's your favorite color? Well, yellow. Okay, hold up. And I start making this clock in yellow. Now I'm gonna share something with you. Okay, in the midst, I'm gonna share good news, but I'm gonna tell you this. But
I don't
anyway,
know anything about this. It's all a surprise to me too. So get me
no, yeah,
started.
this is a surprise. So I'm gonna show you,
All right.
and I'm gonna hold up because it's like I've gotten into so many things. Like I said, who says that a coaster has to be round?
It doesn't.
If when I show you this, you're gonna be like, what? I mean, these are the things that I get spirited that just come in my brain, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. I'm like, that's how it happens. Okay, so a coaster doesn't have to be round.
No.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let me see it. Isn't she fab?
Look,
Oh my gosh, that is so adorable.
it's a coaster with a cup.
The
So you
cup.
put it like this, the cup is right here, and it's black in the back, and I put the resin in there, but I painted that.
I love that. Oh my gosh,
And
it's so beachy.
this
That's
is
like
the
so beachy.
sand. Yeah, and this
Oh
is the coasters.
no.
They go like this. There's four of them, and I have it like this. And I was experimenting with it, and I said, "Oh my gosh!" My husband said, "Those are nice." I went, "You like it?" He goes, "I love those. Those are so cute." I went, "Okay." And I just started making the cups and everything, and it was so funny. I said, "Okay, let me go ahead and make it." So I just went ahead and I started making these things, and then. This is me thinking of ways because the sisters come in candles too.
Okay. Okay.
They come in candles.
I,
And I wish I can tell you, but I have good news. I have a lot of good news for you today. I've been blessed all this week. I've been going like this. It's like,
you don't
oh
even
my
have time.
God.
You don't even have time to think if something's going to go wrong because it's going boo, 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 boo on
Yeah,
you. And you're
exactly. So the good news is this past Monday, a store picked me up.
that is so fab. Is it
That
a
was
local store?
it's yeah, it's a blissful, it's a it's called Blissful Zen Day Spa. It's in
Very
Mansfield.
nice.
So she only wanted the girls in the candles. She brought all six candles. Like
That's
they're
beautiful.
gone. I'm like, she goes, I'm gonna need a dozen more, and I want your owls too. And I'm like, my owls? Oh, but I just started with that. So you want to see the little owls? How cute they
Yes.
are! Oh my god, they're
Yes.
so cute! Oh my god.
She's infectious.
Look how cute they are. Look at these. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Those are
And they're out,
adorable.
and they are just candles. Here's the little wick. This one's Heavenly Bliss. And
Oh my
it's like
goodness.
they
That
got,
is
and
just
here it is
adorable.
in
Look at
yellow.
yellow. You know what I see those as? I see those in like a Thanksgiving dinner
Mm-hmm.
table. You can have a little candle at each plate in those
Yes,
colors,
it's
and
so cute.
they're adorable.
Yeah, and I fell in love actually when I saw the most. I said, "Oh my god, that is so cute! Oh my god, that is so cute!" And then I went ahead and I said, "I wonder." All over the place. And then I said, "I wonder how would it come out as a figurine." And here it is in
Oh, that's
white, and I made it in white. And
that's
this is a little
precious.
figurine out of the plaster. You
Yep,
see his black little tail?
that's
Isn't it
precious.
cute? Oh
Absolutely
my gosh.
adorable. It's so funny as we're talking, things in my head are going around, and whenever I talk to women entrepreneurs, um, it doesn't surprise me, but it invigorates me and it makes me think that I'm on the right path because um, we're people that we can sit and just our brain
Mhm.
starts thinking, and instead of
Yes.
saying, I can't do it, your brain is
Mm-hmm.
saying, how do I figure this out? Or how do
Mm-hmm.
I make this work? And so
Mm-hmm.
that as soon as you stop and say, I can't do it, then your ability to think is absolutely gone and your ability to create is
Mm-hmm.
gone. But as long
Mm-hmm.
as you're going from step to step to step, that's what
Mm-hmm.
makes us special. And that's what makes
Yes.
your skill. You can't even quantify your skill because you don't even know the depths of your skill yet because you're still experimenting with your skill.
Yes.
So if no matter what you do, like I work with resin, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I work with plaster. Now I work with
Mm-hmm.
wax. Now I work, okay, give me something I can't work with, right? So
Yeah.
the possibilities are endless, and that's what's so marvelous about women entrepreneurs, and I think it's special to them
Mm-hmm.
because women have this ability to keep adding on, bump, bump, bump,
Mm-hmm.
bump, 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 bump.
And we always motivate each other because I'm
Yes,
always like somebody would tell me all the time, like, you're a blessing to me, Jeannie. I'm gonna tell you,
thank
you
you.
are a big blessing to me, and I'm gonna explain in a minute why. Okay, so I'm always like, one of my main goals, and I strive for this, and it has never failed me. I think that's why I'm now getting noticed and things like that, because of my love for people. When somebody tells me, hey, do you know how to do this on Facebook? Like, I'm not sure what to do. I go, okay, let's get on Zoom and let me help you. And I help them. Instagram, social media. Now, I don't consider myself a techie, but in church, I do pro productions and I do
Right.
the PTZ cameras. So in computers, I am so happy that, I don't know, my kids tell me, how are you that you older than us and you know more about computer than we do? I go, because I'm always playing myself. And let me tell you, YouTube University will show you how to do it, okay?
But Google
So
it.
so I go ahead and that's how I started painting in Kuwait, YouTube. I said, how do you paint an eye? And I looked it up on YouTube. Oh, okay, because we have web over there, Wi-Fi, and it
Right.
was like the thing. So I was always looking up, how do you do this? How do you do that? And that's how I started painting. So I didn't go to no college, no university or nothing. I'm a teacher, but
Good.
I
Good.
teach English as a second language. I didn't go to nothing. I just started and did it, and that's it. But when people ask me for help, I'm the first one to say, let me help you. So let me tell you what's so wonderful and a blessing that you are to me. So at the time that I was looking at places, I was in Indiana and I had a brick and mortar that picked me up too, and you pay them $30 a month for a 10 by 10 to leave in the store. And I said, man, that's a great idea. Unfortunately, my good friend passed away. She ended up having cancer, and I had to take all the stuff out. They closed down her store. But she helped like 35 vendors, because all the vendors were in her store, a little spot, and they would pay her $30 a month just to be there to sell her. And she would handle the cashier and everything. That was her job as a retirement. She wanted to help all the small businesses, and that would touch me. So I said, if I can find that online, you know how good I would feel. I would be like, oh my gosh, I can do that. And here you come with Evenest. And I said, what is that? And then I read it and I started jumping for joy so fast. And my husband said, are you okay? I said, yeah, guess what I found? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, I found my dream. Oh my God. And he goes, and he walked away. Because I said, there's a lady. She has a store online, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be featured on somebody else's website so I can go ahead and be like the one in Indiana. And he was like, okay. It just goes with the flow. But that's and then when I found you, and it was so much fun, and we're in this, I can see it growing, because if the people would know how much it is to really, how important it is to be with other people that do the same thing with you,
Yeah.
but there's one that says, I'm gonna do the website and everybody's gonna be featured, you know that's a blessing for a lot of people. If you start out like that, it just grows,
That is
so.
that is so kind. And that this is what I want. I've run into so many people. In fact, I was just I always look and see what competition or what we're up against and
Mhm,
things I can do differently or add to. And everyone's starting with the AI stuff. And I was just thinking about this, and I knew I was going to be talking to you today.
mhm, mhm,
Um, And I don't want to do AI. I know it's the way of the future, and I know they're using it for marketing and things, but I
Mhm.
want to get to know my gals. I want to know what
Mhm.
they do. I want to call you and say, look, do you have something new I can put up on my Instagram, or can I help you
Mhm.
with this? Or, just like you just showed me all your new products, and I can say, I need a picture of that owl. I need to market, to put it out there for you. So
Mhm.
I want to stay connected to the women, and I
Mhm.
want the women to
Mhm.
understand that this is a growth process.
Mhm.
Everything starts at zero, right? Everything
Yep.
starts at flat. So Etsy and Instagram and Facebook, everybody started at zero, and they
Mhm.
may have had more capital than I have,
Mhm.
but we have more heart, and we have more
Yes.
energy, and we have more love,
Yes.
and we have
Yes.
more.
Understanding,
Yes,
kindness.
and we know we're not a corporate suit that I
Mm-mm.
know I know what y'all go through. I've done it. I've
Mhm.
been there. I've crafted, and I've worked for myself for a long time. And when I speak with you, um, it's like listening to myself, because you're so excited, and you're going from one thing to another, and you made this breakthrough, and then you found something else, and for you, it's so to your credit, Jeanette. It's like amazing. I listen to you talk, and I'm like, my God, she's selling her paintings in Kuwait. That's amazing. And
Thank you.
it's sheer. I always tell people when I talk with them, I said, you can have three products that are the same, exactly the same, and you have three people that package it differently, right?
Mhm.
So I have one that packages it. Okay, you're going to buy the package. That's awesome, right? It's the
Mhm.
same
Mhm.
thing. You're the
Mhm.
package. You're that package. And that's what women have to understand, that they may think that their skill isn't that great, or they may think that
Mhm.
other people are better than them. But see, you're not thinking about what other people, you're thinking about what you're doing. You're thinking about what
Mhm.
comes out of you. You're
Mhm.
thinking when you sit to paint, you're not thinking about, oh, I wonder if that lady's painting better than me. You're just
Mhm.
painting,
I'm just painting.
right?
Yep.
And whatever comes out is is
That's what it
from
comes
you.
out.
Yes.
Yep. I learned the style that I do is a lady in Canada. Her name is Martina Shapiro. She's one of the famous artists. I mean, she sells her big paintings and they're weird because they're women with and she uses no models. Okay? So she
Okay.
brings it all out of her head and I'm like, "Oh." So I learned her technique and I said, "Well, I don't need a model either. Let me see if this works." Oh my gosh, it did work. And I started making and then her colorfuls and everything. I'm like, wow, and I just sold and sold and sold. I'm like, wow, people really feel that way. And it was different things. And I'm like, okay, I was just doing it for fun, but hey, I did a little bit of something.
But isn't
And
that but isn't that what we want? Like,
yeah.
when we if you're taking your business to the point where you don't get any joy out of it,
Mm-hmm.
when you don't work, I don't know a crafter with her salt that makes something that doesn't make it better the next time, right? 'Cause you learn
Mm-hmm.
from it. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or and
I
sometimes
can show you an example now that happened. This is
no,
gonna be funny,
it
okay? So accidents happen. Okay,
yes,
so I have the quarter moon candle holder. Okay, so this is the first one. You see this right here?
yeah,
That's not supposed to be. This was a flop. Even
I like it.
though you look at it,
I like
it's a
it.
flop. I know, but there's nowhere to put the candle.
Oh, okay. You know what?
This
Get
is
it.
what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, got it.
So I made it again. And I'm like, that doesn't look right. What did I miss? I
That is
forget.
funny.
So and the thing is, everybody thinks, oh, that's so cute. I could put the little candle here.
I
I'm like, yeah, you could put it right there. It
But it
won't.
just sits.
It's okay. I'm looking at myself. I'm like, no, that don't go there. Then the
But you know
real one
what? That
has a
those are adorable. That would be sitting on my shelf, and I would keep that for the rest of my life, knowing that I had made an error, and that was one
Yeah,
of my
that's
Ubi.
what I that's what I do. It's on my desk, and I'm looking at it like, you so missed the point on
Oh,
here. And everybody that sees it say, "Oh, that's so cute." I'm like, in my head, I'm going, "Don't say it's a mistake. Don't say it's a mistake." But and then I learned, now this is the plaster one, and and I like it because it's like, okay, cute plaster one, and I could
I
paint it.
just,
I was thinking of doing one with the ocean on it, so I have one in the bathroom curing and getting all fixed and
you know
nice so
what?
I can
And
paint it.
of course, my brain is thinking. I used to work. I used to do setups for a design company, and
Uh-huh.
you should approach them because they do all kinds of events where they use the tea lights. They put the tea lights
Oh.
for on
Uh-huh.
the tables, and
Uh-huh.
you should talk to them, show them your work, and see if you can get them to. Because what they do is they'll buy like 40 of a
Mm-hmm.
certain at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and they save them in a warehouse. And so whenever
Oh.
they change themes um, to their whatever, if you're doing a party, like you could do a
Mm-hmm.
Moonlight Madness party with those little
Yeah.
things, right? So
Uh-huh.
you should do that. I worked with them, and she's got a huge warehouse, and she'll say, "Okay, Jen, we need to pull those tea lights for this." And my gosh, they would love stuff like that because they look so cute when you're dressing a table, and you're
Mm-hmm.
you're doing the
Yeah.
flowers and everything, and they always use tea lights everywhere. So there's a
Yeah, there
tip
is
for
an
you.
idea. So,
But yeah, those are just adorable. Really,
thank
they are.
you.
So I truly am. I don't know. God works in mysterious ways,
Yes, he does.
and sometimes He presents us with people that we never knew or we never thought we were going to ever meet, and there you are. And so, um, it's just I just want women to be able to embrace who they are. This is a crazy world, and women are
Yeah.
getting on all sides, and we're told this, and we got to look like that. And if we don't do it this way, and we got to settle
Mm-hmm.
into ourselves, and we got to just
Yeah.
say, we are, we are, you know, we're His children, and
Mm-hmm.
we are special in our own right, and everybody's got something to bring to the table. And
Yeah.
if you can embrace life like you do, military is
Mm-hmm.
not an easy life,
Mm-mm.
at all, at all.
Uh-uh.
And it's not easy when
Mm-mm.
you get out. And
Mm-mm. No,
and,
Jesus,
and,
no.
and you want out, but then you get out with the civilians. You're like, I think I want to go back.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's exactly what happened to me. I was like, can I go back in? No, 20
I
years
know.
is enough. Okay. All right. Okay. I can't do more. No, no. Okay. Okay. It is hard when you dedicate, especially me. I went in right after high school.
Yeah, how long were you in?
So 20 years.
Oh my goodness. That's a long time. And you saw a lot of changes.
Yes.
Were you
I mean, even
Army?
in uniform,
Were
I
you
was Army.
Army?
And
Okay.
I was like, we we had an old fashioned army green back in the day, and then we started changing to digital. I almost looked like this. I
Camis?
disappeared with everything that was changing. I'm like, what the heck? What's this now? How do you put this on? My own daughter was like, Mom, that's not how you put that. She was
Oh,
just saying,
she's telling you.
yeah. I was like, okay, well, you just finished basic training, and I'm right here going back in after all of you. I was like, oh my gosh, because I did my term, like I went in, I did 10 years active. I got out for 10 years to raise my children to a point where they can, already in school. And
Right.
then I did my last 10 years. And
Okay.
that's when I got caught up in the war. And I said, if you're going back in, I'm going back in.
Were you
So my daughter did
reserves?
her two.
Were you reserves?
No, I was National Guard.
The National Guard.
And but I was active in the
But
beginning.
they sent
And
they
then
sent the guard out right away.
yes, they
Yep,
did.
they
We
did.
did not play. It was like, what the heck? I thought we were supposed to be here for the state. What is going on here?
I was
And they
hanging out
said,
at
no, you are the
the
new state. I'm like, okay. And we were eager too. Our unit was eager. We
Yeah,
were in a beautiful company and we were eager to go. We were like, oh, we're gonna do it. And we did, you know. I,
you
I
did.
love I love my army life. I don't regret anything of it. And it was good. And then when I got out, I became a teacher. So they gave us a program called Troops to Teachers, you know, and I became a teacher and I did that for 19 years
Wow.
until it started going crazy. And I said, okay, that's a sign for me to
Switch
retire.
gears.
And
Switch gears.
I switched gears and I took my business that I created in 2011, which started out as a hobby, and now it's flourished. And when Monday happened, and this lady in a massage place, she does spa and Donna told me, I really want your candles here. And I mean, she was telling me how people were like smelling them because they were in shape of the woman and they were right there in front of the cash register and they
Those
were like
are
smelling them.
fabulous.
Yeah, and so
They
she
really
she
are.
bought all six of them, and I'm like, okay. And so she goes, I need a dozen more, and I need like a dozen of those owls. I'm like, okay. I said,
Yeah,
okay.
we're gonna do a little series. I'm gonna try to get that started on escalating your business, because one of the hardest
Ooh,
things for crafters to
yes.
do is to recognize, like, you just got a store, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you always wait for that moment, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
there and you're like, holy Toledo, I'm gonna have to step it up, and it becomes, in your head now, you have to figure out how you're gonna, because usually just hanging out, you make it one or two. Now someone's gonna want
Mm-hmm.
40 at a time, and they want it
Mm-hmm.
by this time, and you've got family and you've got things to do. And so
Yeah.
this is a very um, significant part of crafting, women crafters, because they get in
Yes.
a rhythm of actually not selling, of just
Mm.
making, right?
Yep.
So you just make,
Yep.
and then you have to switch gears and become your own salesperson. And
Yes.
you have to go back to manufacturing. So
Yes.
it's gonna, if you wouldn't mind kind of journaling how you decided to switch, that would be a great thing for talking points for us to put out, because
Okay.
uh, they everybody has a different way of doing it. um,
Mm-hmm.
but again, then you're gonna go up from there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what happens if you get 5 stores?
I don't know.
and,
I'm
and
not there yet.
I
But
know,
I'll tell
but
you what, you're first. You was always number one online. It's like you're first. And then I don't know. And I wasn't thinking about actually being, because I had you and I said, okay, I'm already on her store. Let's see how I do in when the orders and stuff like that. And all of a sudden it was this lady that found me. She found me. She says, I would like to talk to you about your products. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Well, I just treated it like that. She goes, oh, no, you don't understand. I want you to be in my store. I was like, what? Oh,
did you faint?
okay. I mean, I was like thrown off the loop. I was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, okay, let's talk about it. And right there and then, and I've become, she's now, that's how I know God has put us together. Let me explain why. She's not also a woman entrepreneur, does her spa, but she's a veteran. The year that she left is the year that I went in. So she left
Wow.
Kuwait in 2011. I went into Kuwait 2011.
Wow.
She's a younger veteran and she did her years there and she served 2 wars. And her dream was to open up a spa for her relaxation. That's how she also has PTSD. We both have PTSD. I mean, we have so many common. And when I walked in the store, that she looked at me and she goes, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "You okay?" She goes, "You look like my mom." I'm like, I thought I was. I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I had no idea until she showed me a picture, and I really did look like her
Oh my
mom
goodness.
because her mom was Puerto Rican with short hair and everything. We looked exactly. I was
Exactly
like,
right.
oh my gosh, so it was really, and we sat down and we talked, and then I am willing to just help her in whatever she needs, because she said that she mentioned to me, she says, you have motivated me to really push up my game. I needed a kick in the butt, and you were it, and you came in here and just bleh. And I went, I'm sorry. And she goes, no, I love it because now it gets me back into gear. Seeing you the way you are, I have to go ahead and push my thing. And I said, whatever help you need, I got you. So I've been helping her with her website, I mean, everything, her Instagram, her alignable, everything. I'm just helping her. But I see that as an opportunity to, not only am I helping her, but if I help her, I help me. I help us
Yes.
grow. And
Well,
not many people can think, oh, like that's old thinking when we all help each other. In Puerto Rico, that people live on top of their stores.
yes.
So it's
I
like
actually have
they
been
live
there.
here. Yeah. And there's a store down here.
Yes.
And they just go down the stairs and they open up the store and people go in and buy it like a real
Yes.
store. I'm like, that's ingenious. Why can't we think of that here? So it's
You know what?
interesting how we help each
I
other.
I think too, and I think it's coming back around, but so many times, especially women, we pick celebrities that are so not
Mm-hmm.
us. They're
Mm-hmm.
so not in our realm, and
Mm-mm.
we admire them and we want to be like them. But
Right.
the fact of the matter is, you can find your hero or your blessing or the person that you want to be like in your neighborhood. I mean,
Yeah.
in your own sphere. And I think I'd like to get women to start thinking that way, because you don't want to emulate a celebrity, because that's a facade. You want
Yeah.
a woman who's done it, who's been there, who's working it, who's going through
Yeah.
what you're going through. You
Mm,
don't want to talk to someone online that you're never going to talk with, or someone who says
mm-mm.
there's something and they're not. You want to talk to someone
Yes.
who's been there and done that.
Who's
And
human.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Who's
you're
real. Like,
exactly. And that
they know.
and crafts are that exactly. Crafts are not
Yeah.
mass produced. I mean, so maybe you can kind of, and things like that. But when we're crafting, when we're creating,
Mm-hmm.
it's a one woman show,
It
you
is.
know.
It is.
And the second thing, remind me to put the military status on your profile, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we talked about this, but I actually started this for military women. My daughter, yeah,
Really?
my daughter's was just married a Navy guy,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the women in the military, especially spouses,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're young. You know how young they can be. Those Marine wives that come from, the guy comes from, Kansas City, Kansas, and he goes to San Diego, and he's got his wife who's 19, right? Got a
Mm-hmm.
first baby. He gets deployed. She's home, and trouble ensues. Can I just say, trouble
Mm-hmm.
ensues? And they don't make a lot of money. People don't understand that the military, they don't make, unless you're like a lieutenant in the Air Force, or is it lieutenant Air Force? I mean, you're up there in
Yeah.
the echelons. They don't make a lot of money. And so
Right.
I wanted a space for women, military spouses, and women in the military to be able to take their skills, because no one talks about them. No one,
No,
no
that's
one,
so sad.
no one. Hold on, let me show you real quick.
Okay.
This is what it had attempted to be. This is Ruby.
Ooh.
She was the
Ooh.
military mom's mall. That's what it had started to be at Evenest.
Oh my
My
gosh.
son did
That
that.
is gorgeous.
Can you see her as a doll, like a Barbie doll, but
I do.
right, with a
Yep.
Jeep, and it says "I love the Army" sticker on the back, with a dog and a couple kids.
Yep. That
So
is amazing.
the military is a special place in my heart, and that they're the epitome of women who are out there on their own. Whether you're in the military or you're a spouse, you're in a special place,
Mm-hmm.
very isolated because you're in this world. Um,
That's true.
and it's not a place that a lot of outsiders like us get to come in and see.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do too is to bring military gals in, because I know their gifts, I know their skills, I know their determination. I know their
Mm-hmm.
commitments. Um, and
We're loyal too. We're loyal. Because let
yes,
me tell you something. When we find something, we stick to it no matter what.
uh,
It takes a crowbar to separate us. And that's kind of what I told you about you.
I know.
I said, Jenny, it's going to take higher hell over water to take me away from your store.
Well, I'm telling you, I have you as an ambassador. I don't, I am so blessed, and I'm telling you, I couldn't wait to do this interview with you because, um, I just think so many great things are going to happen for you, and your gifts are not just in your hands, you know, they're in your
Hmm.
heart, they're in your
Yeah.
soul, and everything you do, even if it's a blooper, it's going to be done with joy, and it's going to be, okay, well, I
It
got
is.
to move on. But I've seen your clocks, and I saw the pictures of your women, but they don't do them justice. Uh,
Oh.
so we're gonna try to get more women to be brave and to understand that everything's got to start somewhere. Um, I think you would rather have, I mean, you've done pop-ups before, you know what it's like
Yes. Mm-hmm.
to have
Mm-hmm.
to drag all of your stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know about, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, the vending events for me is every Saturday from 8 to
Okay.
12.
And
It started in April.
it's been
Yeah,
106 degrees. And we
we've been
talked about this. You have to
115.
go in the
Yep.
morning.
Yeah, the morning we set up and we're out by 12. By 12 o'clock is what's killing us. The morning, not so much. We're up and at 'em.
Right.
And because I've been in the army, I could put up a tent in hot 15 minutes. I'd be like, boom, 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 boom,
I
boom,
need
10
to.
minutes.
I'm
Yeah.
the one that's stuck I'm the one that's stuck in the middle, and there's always some lady that's got to get me out of it.
Yes, but you know what's so beautiful about it? That when you do vending events, you could become like a family.
Yeah.
And when I see, like, I already put up my tent, I see somebody struggling, I run over there and I go help.
Yeah.
And they all do that. I had an episode 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a Saturday. My regular blood pressure is like 77, right?
Right.
That day it was 113, and the humidity was awful. My blood pressure went up to 149. And
Oh my
my
gosh.
another vendor that's next to me grabbed me and she says, "You're gonna sit down." Another vendor grabbed my tent, put everything in the car in the back. I'm like, "What? Drink?" And I'm like, they're throwing water. I'm like, "Okay." But this is the
Oh
love that you
no.
get.
Oh
This is
no.
the love that you get. Now she'll come and see, goes, "You okay? What's your blood pressure? Let me see your clock." I'm like, and my husband got me the smartwatch, the Apple Watch
Right.
that tells my BP. That's how I knew. I said 140. Ooh, I better sit down. I was like,
Yes.
uh-oh, and the thing is, they said that this year is the worst ever in Texas. They ever seen triple digits in 2 weeks. I'm like, whoa. And we haven't had any rain. So the thing is, I kind of believe that if you meet people in a community, like you're a community, now you're doing this website,
Mhm.
this is going to be a community
Yes.
of people to motivate each other, to help each other. And that's what we're here for. And when you go to the vending events, that's another community.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have military people. That's another. There's so many connections and everything that's how we grow, and they all make you grow, and we help each other grow, and that's what's important. The younger generation forgot about that. They're all about having their face on the phone
I
and
know.
forget that there's people out there that can actually help you, not a phone. You know what I'm saying?
And
So
we have to coincide together. The phones, the
yep.
internet are good tools, but
Mm-hmm.
they're, like I
Don't
said,
live by
AI
them.
is not going to replace you and
Be
me.
human.
You know,
Yeah, no,
I I
it's not.
I don't want that. I want to talk to a person, and I
Yes.
want to ask a question. I mean, it's great to get a great question. It's like having a dictionary. You want to have a dictionary around, that's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
you really want to go to the teacher and say, how does this happen? So
Yes.
this
Yes.
is this is part of what I wanted to create a, a virtual. Yes, it's virtual, and yes, people are going to shop online, but the
Mm-hmm.
the vendors behind it are
Mm-hmm.
going to be,
We're human.
yes, and we're into textiles, and we're into,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
candle making has been they've been making candles since you know,
The break of dawn.
the,
I mean,
you
before I
know,
was born, before my mother was born, all wait.
always, always.
Yeah, yeah. So the
So
fact that we just got into it, I did with the little chubby wubby owls and the girls. I'm like, I like them. You know, I call them my chubby wubbies. They're so freaking
I've
cute.
already see those on, I'm telling you, I already see those on a Thanksgiving table. And with some beautiful fall flowers and you got to do one big one, girlfriend, so you can have one at the head of the table, you know, right in the center.
Yeah, but they're just so cute. They're
They
just
are
so
very cute.
innocent and they just adore. So it's like I'm experimenting actually because I wasn't gonna. I just wanted. Actually, I brought them for me. And when people say those are cute, I'm like, all right, they're so cute, and they go, oh yeah, I want some. I'm like, what?
It's,
So you make these things for you, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I
that's
want
what I'm
those. I'm like,
saying. It's like, I used to quilt, and
yeah.
I I was a big thing about fabric. So I had tons
Mm.
and tons and tons of fabric. And I go make a quilt and I didn't want to cut that fabric because I love that fabric. And then I
Aw.
ended up buying more fabric so I could put into the quilt and keeping all the other fabric. And when
Oh.
I left, when I moved, I couldn't take the fabric with me and I ended up sending it to my auntie who has a
Aw.
she has a quilting group of ladies. And so
Uh-huh.
they were very happy to get my 4 giant boxes. And someone's got my fabric and is loving it. But yeah, I know it's hard to, you know,
It
you make
is.
something and it's like, wow, I really that's really awesome. But then someone comes and says, I want to buy it. You're like, yes,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
I'm a
Who would have
business.
thought? Who would have thought? I'm
I
like,
know.
okay. But
You
it's
know,
just fun.
I absolutely adore you. I
No.
think you are just I tell people about you and they're they just look, I said, just wait, just what I'm telling you. And
That's why you want to make the videos and everything. So we
I
can
do.
like,
I
look,
want them to
look,
see because I
those
hear you on the phone and I'm like, I gotta have this woman. I want people to see what we're doing. And
yeah.
I can't believe that you took the chance. Of course you're army, you're gutsy, you're out there.
I say, you know what? Put me on. I'm doing it. And I'm
Suit me
always
up.
doing lives anyway. I have fun when I'm with someone doing a live because it's just marvelous. So
Well,
it's different when you're by yourself. It's like, hey, but and then I tend to be a goofball anyway. So it's like in one of my videos in my own website, I'm dancing. I'm like, you know, and they're like, what the heck is going I know whoever sees it, they're gonna be like, what the heck?
no, we're so funny. We don't need stars anymore. We just entertain ourselves. It's
Yeah.
hysterical.
It is, and I have such a joy. I am so happy you decided to do this because I just love it. I'm there for you, and I'm there for anybody who comes and says, "Hey, how did you do this? What made you do this?" and things like that. You know what? Let them just call me. I'll text them. We'll do a Zoom together too. But that's what I love that you're doing because they get to see. Okay, this is the crazy woman that's behind the creations of the heart art. Okay, you know what? We
And
got to talk to her.
and that's
Yeah.
what we want. And just a little history. So Evenest came about. I I think of women entrepreneurs, and how many there have been, and that the society has kind of pigeonholed us into being like all of a sudden we've been entrepreneurs. Well, women have been entrepreneurs since the dawn of time, right?
Mhm,
First
mhm.
entrepreneur was Eve.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. Miss
Mhm.
Eve, she had nothing, not even clothes on her back at some point. She had to deal with God. She had to deal with the serpent. She had to deal with a
Mhm.
husband. She had a couple of kids
Yep.
that were not so nice. And then she had to figure out how to survive in this crazy
Mhm.
world. And then the next part came from, we're nesters, we're women. This is what we do. We, ask anyone who's had a child, what do they do before they go to have that baby? They're nesting. That's what they call it. So
Mm.
I'm trying to bring women into the nest to get
Mhm.
them to understand that this isn't a new phenomenon. Women have always done this. They're different than men. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm.
They're
It
different.
is actually, you're right. In the biblical, in Proverbs 31, it says the woman is the one that takes care of the vending, the shopping, and everything
Yep.
else. Yeah. So it's on Proverbs 31. So it's right there. So if we really want to get into deep detail, we
I
can
think
have a
Ruth
Bible
was
study on
one
it.
too. I want to say Ruth was
Yep.
one, and
Ruth.
there,
Yes. Ruth.
yes,
Ruth also.
and
Yes. Yes. Yes.
women did the weaving. They did the cooking. They
Mm-hmm.
managed the households. They hired and fired servants.
Yep.
They did everything that they did everything because the men are off
Mm-hmm.
dragging their carcasses to war, right? So we were
Mm-hmm.
left
Mm-hmm.
to educate the children, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's nothing new. But I want women to get to their roots, to find out how
Mm-hmm.
special. I love men. You love your men, right? You love
Mm-hmm.
your men. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we're different, and women have different needs, and women have different ideas about business, and they have different ideas about how they want to conduct their business and how they want to be.
Right.
And so I
Right.
want to make sure that women can hone in on that and focus in on that and
Mm-hmm.
understand how special we are. We don't have to.
Yeah.
We don't have to be men. We don't have to. Yeah,
No, we don't. We don't.
I'm
And
fine
that's
with
the
it.
whole beauty of it. Yep. Yep.
I like
And my
it.
husband, he's one of those that he just smiles at me because he knows that I love what I do. He says, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm painting now." He goes, "Oh, okay." And he'll go straight to the living room. He's
And
like,
he
"Okay,
cooks for
I'm
you.
painting."
Okay, I want you to show your earrings because these are Jeanette's
Oh,
earrings. Those are
yes.
her earrings.
Okay. Let me. Uh, uh, okay.
Okay,
So
those are
here's
her
my
earrings she
little
makes. They're
flowers.
so adorable.
Yeah.
You know,
See.
so there's no end to your skill. There really isn't.
No, and I don't just have these earrings. Like when I buy my stock, I think about, what would be a nice thing that you don't see around. And I'm gonna show you it right now. I have like my earrings right here, and everybody loves dogs, right?
Yep.
Everybody loves dogs. Well, I decided to go ahead and make the heartbeat of a dog. There's the heart with the heartbeat and the paw.
Oh, I gotta get some of those from you.
Okay.
Oh my
and
gosh.
and it says in the back, creations made with love. And it's just, I mean, people are buying these like hotcakes. I can't keep them on every Saturday. It's like, oh my gosh. And I said, let me just start making necklaces to go with it. And I made it and I sell. I'm like, okay, that idea worked. So it's like you try things. Like I have like various things on my vending events. Now I don't post a lot of this because I do this. Okay, the rent every week is $25.
Right.
And I tell my customers as they're running the time, I said, look, the jewelry is to pay my rent. And I go like this, and they laugh. I go, I need to pay rent so I can come next week. If you want to see me, you got to buy something so I can pay rent next week. It's $25. And they laugh. I said, this is my passion. And I take out my clocks, I take out my girls, I take out my coasters. I said, this is what I'm made of. And they're like, oh, and you give them your cards, you give them your brochures, and that is what you're bringing really to
That-
selling your name. But while I'm there, and thank God it has helped them, and I haven't put no house money in it.
That's
No
amazing.
house money. $25. I always say, and I pray for all the vendors that day, and I say, hey, if you make the rent, you're good,
You're
because that
good.
means you come back next week.
Right.
Okay. And there was one Saturday, and it was 11:45, and it was about, because it only goes to 12, and I
Right.
only had $20. I said, Lord, I need five more dollars. I need to sell $5 more. Here comes a guy and say, hey, you need a necklace? Because you look like the type like you need a necklace. And sure enough, he went on, he goes, oh, I like the dragon, because I have dragons. And I say, yeah, look, it's wax cord, because I always think about people's skin. So I
Right.
made sure that all my necklaces are wax, black wax, 9 inches long, and I put the charm in it and I make it. And he goes, I like that. So I say, yeah, it's only $5. You want it? Sure enough, $25 right there. I said, I'm coming back next week. Okay. And it's just a hustle and a bustle. But if you enjoy it, I'm telling you, you're great all the time because I take one day at a time. And that's what I learned in the army too. Take one day at a time, because why think about something you're not there yet? Take one day at a time. That day is good, you had a good day.
Yes.
And I don't sell every day, I really don't. It's like I just enjoy, like my husband will say, what you gonna do today? I say, I think I'm gonna do a canvas. And he goes, okay. And he just goes away. And like he saw me, like the lady ordered a dozen of the owls.
Right.
So he goes, how many you got now? I say, I got 7. You know, he goes, well, you need more molds. I'll go, yeah, I'll do them later. You know, because I'm like, I gotta keep going here. So that's the whole thing.
Are
So
you
yes,
gonna do some more painting?
I don't know. You know, I paint now at the inspiration. Um, I did a white owl for my sister because she loves these white owls, and she loves the tree. She just loves owls. So when she saw these, you know, she went
Oh yeah,
crazy.
she's
Um,
looking for some.
Yes. So I went ahead and I gotta get inspired, and I'm always doing things for my sister. I love her so much. So I'm right here, and I was looking at my canvas, and I'm looking at my canvas, and I'm going, yeah, I gotta paint that owl. And all of a sudden, I painted her owl, and I made it for her. She went bonkers. You know. Now she's like, well, can you make me a brown one? I'm like, I'll get inspired. I'll do it when I get inspired. But I don't paint you know, to sell. I mean, yes, the paintings are growing again, and I'm like, I don't really go into it because I am having so much fun creating these clocks and everything. And just before you called, I was doing my new brochure. So here's my clock right here, one of them that I'm
I love
doing.
that one. Yes.
Yes, this is the humpback whale one. And then I did my sisters in the back. So I'm doing my new
Oh, I love
you
the
know,
sister thing. I have 2
yeah.
sisters.
And
That's like
so
such a wonderful gift. I'm the center sister. I have an older
yeah,
sister and a younger sister.
you see, so
Yes.
you would be like one of the sisters in here
Yeah.
because they come in a set and they're all different. The red, so I always have them like this on the showcase, and they're always like, "Oh my gosh, aren't they cute?" And I always have them like this, and then I put them in whatever color you want. So you should see the colors that I'm getting. It's like,
Those are really, like I said, I saw them on your brochure, but I'm looking at them now and they are absolutely stunning, my girlfriend. They are
thank
seriously. I mean,
you.
I haven't seen anything quite like that in a long time that's done organically as art.
Yeah, thank
It's
you so
beautiful.
much. I only picked things that really touched me because I wanted to do something for my sister, you know, in honor of her surviving.
Right.
And I said, me and her are always like, what are we gonna do next? You know, so she even as a sister, she from her bad experience as a breast cancer, she now has her own ministry. It's called Second Chances, and she
Wow.
does her lives and she preaches about God gave me a second chance, so I'm here to talk to you about it. You
I
know,
love it.
and that from a bad situation, she made it positive, and that's something that she does very well. And she says that I inspire her because I don't sit still. She says I've always been that way. I'm like, okay, I've
Well,
always been that way.
I always say I can sit still later. If I sit still too long,
Yeah,
I get in trouble. I'd
yeah.
rather.
I know when I sit still, I my fingers quickly go to Amazon and go shopping.
I know. I told my husband, I said, he goes, what are you thinking about? And I said, nothing. He goes, you're never not thinking about something.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
I
I'm
think that's
so
all part of
happy.
being an entrepreneur. I think that's
Yes.
how
We're
we are.
never sitting still. Have you seen the picture there's a picture on Facebook that is going around, and it has a woman sleeping, and it says this, and it has all these things doing like to do, and she's like, this is the head of a person who's an entrepreneur. They're never just sleeping. They're already thinking about what they're
They're
doing.
already doing
Yeah.
it. I
So
know.
it's so funny.
I
But
know.
yeah.
And I always laugh at women who, not laugh at women, but um when I used to stay home with I had my children and I
Mhm,
was doing all kinds
mhm,
of things and volunteering and everything. And I was the mom that would pick up all the other kids and I would make the cupcakes and I would, you know,
mhm.
do all this stuff. And
Right.
I would have moms that worked, and I used to say, I really need to get a job because I need to, need to rest, because they only had to deal with a boss, and I had like, kids and dogs and cats, and
Mhm.
I had crafts, and I would be, just always doing something. And
Right.
kids would come into my office and they're like, "Mom, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know, just pick a side. I got this here, I got this going on here." And
Oh my
so
gosh.
they're
That
they're
is
they're used
funny.
to, they come in and they try to organize my office, and I say, "Step away. Just
Yeah.
just step away."
Yeah. My husband knows. Now, this is the thing is that you can take whatever you have and try to make money. An example, and this is somebody who lives on the first floor, okay? Now, my front view is the pool, okay? So if you see here is the pool, but look what I have along my pool. What do you see? You have the 4 busts
But
with earrings and everything, QR codes on the wall because I want people to know where my business is. And I have had people knock on my window asking me, can I buy? The man literally, my husband's my witness. We were watching TV and he knocked, he goes, can I have, I need those necklaces. I need to buy those necklaces. I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm like, who knew? But God knew because he told me prepare your window like a display. And I
like a
said,
display.
okay. And I did it. And every time I'm here and I'm doing stuff, people are watching me. Like they'll stand out, but my dog scares them away. So you're
Oh,
like, but
what
they
do you
do
got? What have you
look
got? A little terrier?
no, a little Chihuahua
A
terrier.
oh, yeah,
Yeah, she's feisty, but she's protecting the house. That's what she
yeah,
does.
that's her
You
job.
know,
That's
yeah.
her job.
So it's so funny how they walk by and they see the jewelry and they're looking, they're like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, bring him in, and I'm just right here and I'm doing when I'm doing jewelry, I have it over here and they can see me like literally. It's like when you go to a shop and you see the clockmaker making the clock, you just stay fascinated at the fact that
Right.
they're being done. Oh, I had a surprise for you, right? Because you like my clocks. So the same lady, she ordered 5 clocks from me because she's gonna put them all over her spa. Okay,
Oh my goodness.
so here it is.
Let me see it.
Only you.
This is
Here
a
it
this
is,
is
a
a first
preview.
look at it. Let me see.
Yes. So
Oh
can
my
you see
goodness,
that?
they're gonna be beautiful.
Yes. So I
I love
have
the
five
pink. I
clocks.
love the pink flower one. I love that.
Yes. So, and the middle one is going to be golden clear. So, this
Oh,
is like the grand thing that I'm doing. And I like to design them first in my head because I know her atmosphere. I've been to her shop, so I know her atmosphere. And she told me, she never said something specific. She just said, I want you to make it relaxing. I said, okay.
okay.
And that's not, and I just started, so I have to design the other two because I'm thinking really hard what would be, because I'm thinking gold and blues and greens and yellows and things like that. So it's interesting when I come up with, and I it just comes like it just happens. So I tend to just and I could be looking at anywhere and all of a sudden I have a squirrel moment. It's like, oh, and I get up.
Squirrel moment.
It's like squirrel. And my husband goes, what? What happened? He gets scared all the time. He's always jumping, like, what happened? An idea. And I run into the room and I start designing. He goes, is that what you wanted? I say, yeah. Or I'll keep a notebook with me and start writing everything down. It can happen anywhere.
This is
You can
this is
be
the
anywhere.
creative process. And
Yes,
I
it is.
think it's funny because a lot of people think you have to actually sit to think. But for
Mm-mm.
me, I am probably like you. I get inspired. I'll be driving and I'll look at something and then some random thought comes into my head. So it's not like that actually inspired me. Like I'm not like I see
Uh-huh.
a tree and I'm not thinking of a tree,
Uh-huh.
but all of a
Right.
sudden this thought will get, oh, okay, okay. And
Yeah.
and then I'm like,
That's what I call a
okay, that's
squirrel
how it
moment.
works. And
Yep.
it's
And
so
Siri
odd.
has, yeah, and my phone has become like my best friend now because when those things happen, you don't have a pencil, you don't have nothing. That's when I go, Siri, notes, da 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 da. And they go,
Yes.
I copied in notes. Thank you. and and I'm done. And then I go back, I go, oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Because you know what? You won't remember it by the time
Nope,
you
nope.
get through your other stuff and you're saying, "Dang it, I had it. Where is it in my head?" And you forget it, and it's
Yes,
yeah. So see all these
yes.
processes we have that we've developed, but they're actually in
Hmm.
us already. We just
Yeah,
haven't had an opportunity to bring them out and use
it's a
them.
little
Or
drawer.
yeah. Well,
It's a little
I
file
always
drawer.
think it's like the china that you never use. Like you put the china in the
Yes,
china cabinet and
yes.
no one gets to use it because it's not like for company. So you got to bring out the
Hmm.
stuff in you because it's always for company. You always got to use the good
Yes.
china.
I know, all the time. And that's something that, we it just happens. We don't plan it, just happens. It's like when I have two things that I always go by. Just do it,
Mhm.
as long as it's not in danger or anything, just do it and experiment. And if it works, well, fine. If it doesn't, kill it. I could give you a perfect example that everybody, this, all crafters go through this. When I first started making things, I was actually making vases. I
Mhm.
mean, I would twirl and make them, and I learned how to make these beautiful vases out of twine and tweed and yarn and making the flowers. I made these vases. Oh my gosh, I thought they were gonna sell. Well, guess what? In Indiana, they didn't want to look 2 cents at it. They were not involved. They were like, they didn't even look at it. I made theme ones. I made all of these. And I said, I spent money on all these bottles as vases, decorating them, and nobody wanted. I end up giving them half away. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it doesn't work, even
It
though you
doesn't work.
find it gorgeous. Nope. But you know what? I took that and I said, you know what? Okay, that didn't work. Next. You
That's
can't give
it.
up.
Right. You
It's you
never
got
give
you
up.
like you tried, you failed. Okay, scratch that. Give somebody a gift. And what I do with all the stuff, like, okay, my another example, my sister's previous business. I'm not gonna say the name of it, for protection rights,
Right.
but she used to be selling these jewelries, and I got in so she could move up in level. Okay, so now I have like 8 totes of jewelry. So guess what I do? I said, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. When somebody orders a clock from me, I put jewelry in there. Like I give them a bracelet, an earring, necklace, everything matching the
Wow.
colors of the clock. So I throw it in there, plus my loyalty card. And they're like, oh my gosh, I love the jewelry. I'm like, how about the clock? Did you like? Oh yeah, I love that too, but the jewelry was nice. So I give them a surprise. They have no idea that they're expecting it.
People
And
love that. They
yes.
love
And
that.
so I took a negative and I put it a positive.
Yes.
So I took a loss and I make people happy, that those customers, when you make happy, they come back.
Yep.
I believe in customer service. I'm old time school from, we're way back in the day, like 70s,
Yep.
80s, where
Yep.
customer service was always a smile and gratitude and you make them feel special. In today's world, to be honest, you don't see that out there a lot.
In
So
fact,
when you get it,
I think most people open their packages with a sense of trepidation that they're not going to actually even get what they ordered. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yeah,
And I think we're close to the same age, but
yeah.
even the Fuller brush man, I don't know if you have one of those, but the guy that used to come around and sell things, and
Oh
he
yeah,
always gave
yeah,
us like a shoehorn,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something really dorky, and we were so excited to have this because we didn't get,
Yes,
we didn't get free
yes,
stuff. But you know, if I order something, I'm always worried. I never know what I'm going to get if it's going to be
yeah,
what I ordered. And
yes,
so I think that's because we have retailers that they're not actually selling their own. See, these are our own products. These clocks that you make, these figurines, these are from your person,
mm-hmm,
yourself.
mm-hmm,
And so you're as proud of them. You want them to go
mm-hmm.
out the door just the best you can do. Whatever
Yeah,
I'm making, whatever I'm cooking or drawing or whatever I'm doing, I always want to make sure it's the best I can make it. And even though it's going to take me longer sometimes, right? Because,
yeah,
you add that little touch to it.
uh-huh,
But people remember that and as it grows, your base will grow because people are going to know that you're going to stand by your work
yeah.
and that you
That's true.
are a person that they trust. And trust is
Yes,
very it's not it's not very true in the retail world anymore, you know?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. I've had customers that one she brought a clock. She was on vacation in Texas and she brought a clock at one of the vending events. She just said, I love that clock. I want to buy it. So she brought it. When she got home, she wrote me an email and she said, hey, I brought this clock from you. Here's the clock, but the clock itself, the face is not working. I put all the batteries in it. It's not working. I said, you know what? Okay, give me your address. I'm gonna go ahead and send you a new face. She goes, what? She goes, yeah, I'm gonna send you a new face. She was so she goes, oh my God, thank you, thank you. I said, that's customer service. You just hey, it's not gonna cost me anything just to put a little face on there and send it to you. When she got it, she goes, it's working. Thank you so much. And that she'll remember me by.
Yes. And but
She'll say,
she also didn't have to argue with you. She also
no,
she was you could probably tell she was getting ready
yeah,
to do some
yeah,
battle, right? This clock
uh-huh,
isn't working. And you're like,
yeah,
okay, well, I'll fix it. And they're like, what?
yeah. They
Because
don't see that anymore.
no, no,
They really
no.
don't. I've had one that another customer that brought the clock at a vending event. It was a gears made out of all gears. I don't know if you've seen that one on my
Yeah,
website. It's all gears.
it's very cool.
And he sent it to his father instead of, he never told me it was for shipping, or else I would have told him, hey, I ship, let me do it. At least I know the way I send it, it won't break.
Right.
Well, his father got the clock and the whole face was broken. It
Oh,
was like and then he told me, he came by my tent and he says, where did you get the faces at? I brought a clock here, the gear Cassie. I remember you. He goes, oh, you do? I said, yeah, I remember you. And he goes, I sent it to my father and he received it. He took pictures of it and he goes, look, the whole face went broken. I said, why didn't you tell me? I could have shipped it for you. He goes, you could? I said, I could have made sure and get it for you. And he goes, well, where did you get the Amazon, the faces? I said, don't worry about it. Come back next week. I'll give you one. He goes, you will? I said, come back next week and I'll give you a face. What color was it? Silver or gold? And he goes, gold. I said, okay, I'll bring it. They never came, but I'm telling you, I was ready to give them. I had it
right,
in my pocket and I'm ready to give them the face. And that's what they don't expect. So when we shock them like that, it's like,
right.
oh, okay. So, customer service these days is number one because when they see that you go the extra effort, the way I look at it, it is not going to kill you to replace something because you know what? It got there broken. It's not their fault. It's the mailman's fault. But, we're not going to blame the mailman either. They just want their product.
Well,
So I went
stuff happens.
it
And
does. It
I'm
does.
a big believer in contracts aren't written for when things go
Mm-hmm.
well. They're
Yeah.
written for when things go bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so you actually have a contract when you're the vendor and someone's purchasing from you. That's an unwritten contract. They're
Mm-hmm.
offering you money for something that you're selling them. And
Right.
unless they completely just stood in front of you and broke it or whatever, um,
Right.
stuff happens, and
Yeah.
they will remember you more if you fix
Mm-hmm.
it and you do it with a joyful heart and you say, look,
Yes.
now I'll take care of it, as opposed to, getting down and dirty with them and having a scrap. And then, you know, that the bad news travels so fast. And
Mm-hmm.
as an entrepreneur, you want to get that matters to your reputation, that trust that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you want to be able to provide as much of a positive experience with your clientele as possible. And
Yeah.
you don't want to simper to them. There's a difference between treating them with respect and giving them hearing what they're saying and then coming to a decision, as
Yeah.
opposed to pandering to them and then making them not feel as part of the transaction. So
Right.
um, you have the exact I think you have the exact attitude, and that's why you do so well, and that's where you're going to do better. It's
Yeah.
coming, and there might be a
It
little
is.
resistance on your part
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
um, one of the biggest fears, and I have this fear. Um,
Yes.
I'm
Of
not a fear.
success.
I am a fearless person. The only thing I
Yeah.
fear is poverty because I've been there. But
Me too.
I really am not. Bugs don't bother me. dogs, nothing bothers me. Okay. Um, but I think, oh my gosh, what if this really works? Right? What if it
Yes.
works?
You
And
and I
then
have the same line, the same thing. We kill ourselves because we're afraid of success.
that's right. It's one of the biggest, and you don't realize it because you work, work, work. If
Mhm.
you're a worker, I
Mhm.
can tell, right? I'm a
Mhm.
worker. And so we're in our working mode. And now all of a sudden, someone comes up and says, oh, get this, we're taking your stuff and we're running with it. And for the split second, you're so excited. And then you're like,
Yeah.
holy crap. And there, you can't, you're like, like I can't, because things will change. And the fear of success is 20 times worse than the fear of failure, I think.
Mhm.
Because it
Mhm.
stops the forward momentum, right? You're getting all
Mhm.
these steps, you
Mhm.
get all these steps, and then all of a sudden, so I want us to be like Rocky going up the steps, da da da, da,
Ooh.
and he's standing up on those steps in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
up there. But what happens? He's got to go back in the ring and he's got to beat the crap out of the guy in order to win again. So,
Yep.
um, we have to move forward with our ability to accept success and know that um, you can't be afraid of it. You have to embrace it, but
Yep.
you're going to start again, right? So
Yep.
once you get to that one point, there you are,
Mhm.
and you're on the
Mhm.
steps, Rocky, and then you're like, oh my gosh, now I got I got another 100 steps to go. So
Yes.
that's where our community is going to come, because we're going to have people that think just like us, and
Mhm.
that's the stopping point. It's really
Mhm.
sad to think that the stopping point is something good, but um I can take the hits. Boo, boo. I can take the rocky hits, but boy, let me go and get a couple of good things under my belt and I'm a terrified one. Oh
Mm.
man.
You know what? But we all start somewhere. So it's like I've been advertising even on my own webpage. Like it's like I'm gonna have like my sponsor page, and this is
Right.
me thinking I have my sponsor page, and then I gotta put your link in there, and then
Yes.
I'm gonna have a sponsor page, and I got it. Now I have two sponsors, so now I'm gonna put him in there. When people go to my website, they're gonna, oh, she's here and she's there. Oh, look, what is this spot? Oh, look, Evenest, they got more stores. That's how you build a
Yep.
community. And it takes time. Like a lot of people think, again, and this is another misconception, people think that success happens overnight. Look, unless you hit the lottery, which is 1 in a million,
Bazillion.
it's not that way.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a good business starts, it takes about a year or more to really just take off. They said if after a year you're still in it, and I pretty much got a year, 2 years in my business, and I'm seeing now the flow of things is
Yep.
like, okay, it took you long enough, but you're getting there. So it's just a matter of, it's momentum. You got to be consistent, and you got to be always on it, and just have fun with it. That people forget to have fun. They struggle so much in making the business that they forget, if you have fun along the way and you have fun with other people, oh my gosh, your business itself will take off, and they don't even know, you don't even know how it happened. You were just having fun. And that's
Exactly.
what happens to me. I have a lot of fun when I do my vending events. And when people come in my tent, and I'm always laughing and chucking with the next door neighbor, and we're just having fun, they're like, what, where's the party? I go, right
I know.
here. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's what brings joy. When you have joy in doing, and you're not doing it just for the big money. And don't get me wrong, money is important so you
It
can
is.
produce products and things like that, but don't make it be the priority that it stresses you out.
Have you
Because
been to
and
a
then what?
have you been
Yeah.
to a pop-up where um they've got beautiful things out, different things, but the person's behind the
Yes.
table and sitting.
Yep.
And so as a customer, I don't want to really approach because I don't know if they're busy, you know.
Right.
So the shopkeeper, which is what you
Uh-huh.
are,
Uh-huh.
needs to come out and hang out and have a conversation with the people that are out
Yes.
there and talking. Even if it's just
Yes.
a hey, Even if it's
Yes. We
hello.
say every Saturday we're sitting down, we go like this, and me and the girl Laura, she has her own business. She does baby clothes. She's perfect. I'm gonna send her to you. But
Thank you.
anyway, so she comes and me and her every morning we go, "Hey, good morning." And they're like,
I
I go, "Hey,
know.
what's up?" And they're like, "Okay, good morning." I say, "Hey, everything here is $5, and this is my passion of my class. If you ever want to stop by, just come on. I'm here. I'm here. Come to me." I mean, I'm always doing crazy stuff like that. And they go, "Okay, let me just come by." So I mean, we always are approachable. And then you have your vendors, and I'm looking at them, and then they wonder why they had a bad day because they're like this.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, I said, "Were you on your phone the whole time?" And I say, "Yeah, I really didn't make no money." I said, "You were on your phone the whole time." And they're like, "Well, I mean, if they want something and to just come up." I said, "Okay, honey, people like eye contact. You got to look at them. You can't be behind your phone, because if that's the case, then go sell your products on the phone." I
Right.
mean, you here in a vending event, so you just spent a nice day playing on your phone
Right.
instead of engaging with people, because people like to be engaged with. And what I love is that I've had repeat customers come to me all the
Yeah.
time.
That's
And
why.
they go, "Hey, Miss Jeanette." I go, "Hey, beautiful. How are you?" Now, the guy knew I say, "Hey, beautiful," and everything because I don't remember their name. My
I
name's
know.
awful. So
Just
I
call me
use
honey.
positive,
I just do
encouraging
say
words.
hi, honey.
Yeah. I go, "Hey, gorgeous. Hey, beautiful. Oh, I love those earrings. How you doing, girl?" I mean, just be bubbly, and that brings people in. Being
No,
positive.
it's so funny. I can't believe how much we are alike. We're like, this is just from another. Um, so my day job, what
Sisters
I've
from
done
another
for
mother.
12 years is I'm a mobile notary. So I go into um, other people's homes. I
Uh-huh.
go
Uh-huh.
everywhere. I mean, I've been to meat packing places and I've been to,
Mhm.
you know, hotels and people's homes, but um, I'm a stranger to them. Even though they know I'm coming, they don't know me and I don't know them. And we're going to sit at a
Mhm.
table for, it used to be an hour, now it's a half hour because I'm really good at what I do, um,
Uh-huh.
and have a conversation. So it doesn't matter the house. It doesn't matter how much they don't have or how much they have.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I walk in, the dog always greets me. I always wait for
Mhm.
the dog to invite me in because that's how
Mhm.
it is. Then the dog
Mhm.
is with me and I'll sit down and I'll say, gosh, I love that clock, or where did you get that picture? I
Uh-huh.
and I truly find something that I find fascinating or nice.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
they the the separation that was there, gone. It just
Yep.
it's gone. And they all of a sudden want to tell me everything.
Yes.
And if I go up to a vendor at a pop-up, and some of them are younger, right? And they're kind of sitting back, and I'll walk up and I'll have my papers, but what I do, and I'll say, oh my gosh, that is just so beautiful. And almost everything is. There's so many skilled people out there, is amazing.
Yes.
I'm always
Uh-huh.
amazed. And they
Uh-huh.
look up at me and I say, really, I'm serious, it's really beautiful. And then they stand up and then they're okay with talking to me. And
Yes.
vendors have to understand that you can't hide behind your craft. You can't hide behind
Yep.
your crocheting, your knitting, your pottery, your baskets. You have to be the face of your business, and you have
Yeah.
to let people know that this is you. And
Yeah.
when they come up, you don't have to say something like, "Are you going to buy my product?" You
Yeah.
just
No.
you just say, I hope you're having a great day today.
Uh-huh.
Did you get a chance to get a burger over there, or
Uh-huh. Yes.
some kind of chimichanga or something that they're
Yes.
selling, um, and you'll see you'll see the defenses of the other person just
Go down.
just
Mhm.
you have them. And even if they don't buy, you give them
Yes.
a card and you
Yep.
say, I know you might be in a hurry, but let me just give you a business card. This is what I do.
Yep.
And
Yep.
check me out on my, even if they don't do that, it's
Mhm.
practice. So if you're a young vendor or a person that's have not done sales before,
That's
uh,
right.
or
That's
isn't
right.
a person that has a personality that is, my husband always says I'll talk to a post, but
Uh-huh.
some people don't have that ability. So you got to practice. And so
Yes.
practice. If they weren't going to buy anyway, just practice on them. You'd be surprised,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so
Exactly.
that interaction between, um, between the vendor and the buyer is so important. And they don't teach that in sales school. They teach scripts, and they
Yeah.
teach,
They do teach scripts.
they
Yeah.
teach scripts, and they teach you how to, in real estate, this is what you say, this is how you close, um, but when
They
we're
can't teach you the personality behind the work.
right,
And that has to come naturally. You got
yes.
some that can do it, and you have some like, oh gosh, you do this for a living, because it's like, I think you're in the wrong job, dude.
I know, right? Oh
So
goodness.
it
Well, you know
was
what,
funny.
girlfriend, we really, if we were in a hotel room together, we would never, they would think things about us because we'd be
Oh my
yapping forever.
gosh. We can talk forever, but you know what? This was a good session. I hope that it gets a lot of views, and that they write you and they say, "Hey, I want to be part of your community," because that's the main focus on here, to get the person behind the product, and they get to meet you, and we're going to set the stepping stone, and from there on it's going to be nothing but bliss.
I
You know?
love it. I love it.
Yes, and I'm
I want
throwing it out there. It's
yes.
gonna happen.
I'm gonna get all your information because I'm gonna put that. You're gonna be on YouTube, and we're gonna do
Yeah,
Instagram, and I've got TikTok, and I've got on the site, and we got all kinds of stuff going.
cool.
And I'm gonna get all of the pictures, the owls, and
Mhm.
everything. I can take those off your site, right? If you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And then alignable and anywhere we can put us, and then oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to meet you. You're such an absolutely marvelous human being. I cannot tell you. I
Oh,
just,
you
it's such a
too.
pleasure. And
Thank you for doing this. I'm having a great time. I'm like, yeah, girl, let's do this again
we're gonna
sometime.
we're gonna get more stuff. I have so much stuff planned in my head that I want to do.
Uh-huh.
Meet and greets and getting women together and talking about things like we've talked about, success and fears, and how we can help each other, and
Mhm.
get away from, we're going to use the internet, ladies. We're
Yeah,
going to use the internet, but we're not going
yeah,
to become AIs. We're going to be
yeah.
living, breathing,
Human.
human,
Mhm.
wonderful women, and we're gonna
Mhm.
take our crafts and share it with the world, which, I hope so.
And you know what? It's gonna happen. When you download the video and things like that, send it to me, and I'll put it on my Facebook and every social media that I have as well. And we're gonna have people. That's the way we start. We're gonna start, build. By the time you know it, girl, we're gonna be Fortune 500s.
We're both gonna be sitting in a limousine going, oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
I remember that first video. Oh my gosh, girl! I don't know. Usually, this dress feel good on me.
You're a
What
hoot.
wig do I wear today?
You're a hoot. All right, my love.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so much
right.
for your time. I'm going in and
Oh,
out because I keep moving. Um,
yeah.
Thank you for your time. We're gonna catch up.
Anytime. It
And
was great.
I just love you, honest to God.
I
You're just
love you too.
amazing. So to us, we're gonna move
Yes,
forward. Yes, love. All right,
to
send
the
me those
owls.
girl. I know. I love those girls. I love those girls. They're amazing.
Okay.
I love them. All right,
Send me
sweetie.
your address. I'll send you some.
I I'm gonna buy some.
That's a
I
pretty
told you I
girl.
got two sisters, so I gotta,
Oh, okay.
yeah. They're gonna irritate it if I don't send them one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I know.
Okay. All right,
All right.
Nina.
All right. Love you.
Thank you.
All right.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.